Hi, I've got another book to read today, and this one is called Asia and America, Worlds Apart, So Much the Same. And this is written by someone I know very well. His name is Steve Hoffenberg. You might know him too, or you might not. That's me. Anyway, I took the pictures. I took them over the years at different places that I visited. And I'm showing pictures of Asia and the United States. So here it is. See? This book is dedicated to the people of the world who share in its challenges and in its beauty. Chicago skyline, USA, Hong Kong skyline. Chicago skyline, Chicago subway, USA. Hong Kong subway. Seattle at night, Shanghai, China at night. Chicago skyscraper, Shanghai skyscrapers in China. Hong Kong night market. Chinese herbs in Dali, China. Chinese herbs in Vancouver, Canada. Celebration in Seattle, USA. I've also seen those in Madison and Chicago. Celebration in Beijing, China. Changchun, Trolley, China. That's a town of about 4 million, at least when we were there. And most people that I know have never even heard of it. It's up near North Korea. Big city. Here's a Changchun traffic jam in China. That looks familiar, doesn't it? Here's a Seattle traffic jam. That's waiting to get on to the ferry, I think, in Seattle, or near Seattle. Phoenix, Arizona, trolley, USA. This is a chairlift in Dali, China. And here's one in Whistler. There's a chairlift in British Columbia. both in the mountains, but very different places. Here's a beautiful Rocky Mountain scene. I think that's Moraine Lake or Lake Louise in British Columbia, Canada. And here's a beautiful mountain scene on the Li River in China, near Yangshuo and Guilin. This is where fisher people fish with cormorants that they raise from babies, right in this river. We saw that. It happened at night, very hard to take photos of. Here's a waterfall in British Columbia. That's Takaka Falls, I believe. And here's a waterfall at Tiger Leaping Gorge in China. Here's a waterfall in Lijiang in China. This one was on The Great Race, I believe. If anybody ever watched that show. Is that what they call it? Where they go all over the world and, yeah. And here's a gorge in Yoho National Park in British Columbia in Canada. Here's some people, and I actually believe this person here was Chinese, but this is in Laos, and all these people are having fun in the water, in different places. Here's people having fun. This might be hard to see, but there's somebody diving right in, and this is on Lake Superior in the United States, just north of where I live. Here's people, this is a hot spring in British Columbia, and here is a pool. I think it costs about $2 to go in this beautiful pool in Hong Kong. Here are people playing basketball at Yellow Mountain in China. They love basketball there too. And here is basketball right at the Kohl Center in Wisconsin, about 3 blocks from here. Chinese musicians, young and old, right here. This young woman, boy, could she sing beautifully. And she played an instrument, I don't remember the name of it, a stringed instrument. And then this man here, he looked a little grouchy, but he played another instrument, a very traditional Chinese instrument like that one too. And here are American musicians, young and old. This was in Winnipeg, I believe. And this is a student of mine who played right in my classroom in Evansville, Wisconsin. It must have been right in January because I see MLK there, and I would have had that up in January around MLK Day. Here's some students in Changchuan, and here are my students. This is one of my last, this may be my last one. No, one of the last classes that I taught in Evansville. Not the very last. And here's a horse in Yunnan province in China. That's where a lot of the Tibetan people live. And here's a horse right in Evansville, Wisconsin. Some of you who look at this might even recognize people there. Here are acrobats. This is in Victoria in British Columbia. And here are Beijing acrobats. Boy, were they amazing. Here I am eating hot pot. This is in Chicago. I think this is at a Vietnamese restaurant. I think that might be Tank Noodle. And this is a hot pot we had in Yunnan province. And this had a wooden charcoal heating device, and we had yak meat in there. And here are different Chinese and American flowers. Doesn't matter where they came from. I don't even remember. Flowers are flowers anywhere. Here's good Asian food in Seattle. I think that was Chinese food. And here's some great Chinese food in Hong Kong. I'll never forget that meal. No matter where you might be, may your days and nights be filled with joy. Bye now.